Crikey. I mean, this might be the steepest drag lift I've ever been on. And I'm up here today to talk about riding some steep and unfavourable conditions. Whew. So I'm going to drop in down here, make a few turns on this steep section, then I'll pull over to the side and explain what technique I'm using to ride in these conditions. And it might look pretty good, but we've actually got quite a nasty frozen crust on top of some heavy powder, and then about 10 centimeters under that, a few inches under that, we've got a pretty solid icy base. So perfect conditions for this video. That's that breakable crust. So in today's video, I'm going to answer this question from my assist, and essentially they want to know how to ride in steep, challenging, ungroomed, unpisted conditions, and that's definitely what we've got today. Like I showed you in the intro, we've got this kind of icy layer on top. Let me just break a bit of that off. Okay, you can see this kind of icy crust on top. It's almost falling off like bricks, so you can kind of break through that and have that soft kind of wet, heavy, powdery snow underneath, and then an icy base below that. So definitely challenging conditions, perfect for this video. So I'm going to get onto technique in a moment, but the first thing I want to talk about is tactics. And what I mean by that is how you choose to ride down the slope and essentially what line you're leaving behind you in the snow. And as much as possible, we always want to try and get those S turns. Okay, so each turn is like this capital letter C. That could be your Heelside turn. This could be your Toeside turn. Join them together, it makes that S shape. And the arc of each turn is really crucial, because if we think just for a second about what a turn actually is, it's just a complete redirect of your momentum. Your center of mass is going that way, you come through the turn, then your center of mass is going that way. And the smoother we can make this C shape, it actually means if you follow the arc of that turn, the board comes round smoothly and you keep your momentum going forward through the arc of the turn. That actually means at the bottom part of the turn, there's very little downward force and downward pressure against your board, meaning it's going to be easier for you to hold your line. Whereas let's assume you've done a turn a bit more like this, your edge change has been in the full line and you've kind of kicked the back foot out, suddenly you've got this big build up of pressure on your board at the bottom of the turn, and it's going to be very difficult to hold your line. So we want to make that S shape as much as possible, and when we can, however, I will get onto this, it's not always possible in these conditions. You might have to lose your momentum and you might have to do something different, but that's definitely the goal, what we're striving for where possible. Now, the other thing about doing these S turns, it means you're always starting in a traverse, and that is the only way to successfully roll the board onto your new edge and complete the edge change before the fall line. So this is called an early edge change, getting your board on its new edge before it's even pointing down the slope. And that's crucial to achieve this shape, but it also really helps you start steering the board through the turn. And as soon as the edge change has happened, you're essentially in control of the turn. You can think of the edge change as a sort of release of pressure, and you don't want to hold that board on a flat base for long at all. You want to get on that new edge as soon as possible. So technique, how are we going to achieve these turns? And this isn't going to be a blanket answer for all kind of challenging conditions. I'm talking about what I've got today. It could be very different. The snow is essentially still quite soft underneath, so I'm kind of breaking through it. It could be completely frozen solid. I probably wouldn't have come out if it was, because that's not fun, people. But anyway, so I'm just going to talk about what I have today, but a lot of the technique will essentially apply to steep off-piste terrain. Let me just stamp the snow down here, so I've got a little platform to stand on. So I'm going to talk you through the turn, starting at the edge change, beginning with the heel to toe side turn. Now, posture, yes, is important. You want to have the fundamentals, hips stacked over your edge, your center of mass behind here, back behind the board. But in these conditions, you're going to be making a lot of movements to balance yourself and adjust. So it's not quite simply a case of kind of put your arms by your side or keep in line with the board. There's going to be a lot of movement. And I actually ride in a slightly more open position when I'm riding these steeper slopes. Firstly, by being in this open position, it allows me just to sort of dip my backhand down a bit, like I'm going to sort of grab the board, do an indie grab there. Not quite that extreme, but by doing that, you can see as I tilt, as I angulate my shoulders, and you can imagine almost kind of bringing your shoulder line to become parallel to the angle of the slope, it just throws my hips slightly more in towards the mountain and keeps some weight stacked over that heel edge. Now I'm traversing across the slope like this, and I want to make this first edge change and get over onto my toe side. And the movement I'm going to be using is essentially a retraction turn. I'm going to try not to use too many technical terms or too much of this kind of instructor language, partly because it's always changing, and secondly, I'm just going to try and explain it in the most layman terms possible. But for those of you who want to get nerdy, this is kind of a retraction turn. And I'll say kind of a retraction turn because technically a true retraction turn means if this is your upper body, if this is your center of mass, your hips, your shoulders, everything up from that, and these are your legs retract underneath you for the edge change, then push out on the other side. Now that is really what I'm trying to feel, but in reality I am going to also be kind of crossing my center of mass over the board. But as much as possible, I'm trying to retract my lower body, my knees, my ankles, the board itself underneath me at the edge change. And the reason I want to do that is, if you think what an edge change is, we've got to cross our center of mass over the top of the board. And on a steep slope like this, that kind of crossing your center of mass over the board like that, it's going to feel a bit like you're kind of diving down the mountain. And we can essentially get the same effect by bringing the board underneath you. And it means you don't actually have to commit your body to kind of falling down the hill like that so much. Now, as I mentioned, there will be a little bit of that happening on these steep slopes. It's very difficult to make what's called a true retraction turn, where your center of mass stays exactly still. So it's kind of like a crossover between a retraction turn and a down and weighted turn. Anyway, enough of that language. So what do I do to do that? And it's interesting, in your comment, you mentioned jump turns, because this feels essentially very much like a jump turn. What I'm doing throughout the turn, towards the end of the turn, once I've got that board gripping and I know I've got this kind of platform, essentially exactly like the ledge that I'm stood on now, I can feel the board gripping in the snow. I'm just going to push out against that, particularly off my back leg, and I'm going to suck my back leg up underneath me like that and try and pull it down. And you can essentially see what I had to do there. For my back foot to get round, I literally have to suck it up into this tall position. It essentially has to come over the snow like that before I can get round onto my toe side. So this retraction movement is really, really helpful in this steeper stuff. It's this kind of push away, leg comes up, round onto the toe side like that. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm still actually steering the board with my front foot, my front ankle, knee and hip. As I push away from this back foot, this front knee, this front hip dives over into the turn. But because of the nature of the snow, particularly because of this crust we've got, I don't want the nose to dive down too much underneath it, because that's just going to send me into a bit of a cartwheel. So I'm more kind of feathering my front foot over the top. And in this retraction, the board itself doesn't actually have too much pressure going through it. Again, if it was a jump, if you did jump around like that, that would fully take the weight off the board. I'm not quite coming off the snow, but it's that same feel as I push again, push against the snow, sorry, pull that back leg up. It really takes the weight off my board, and that's going to stop it kind of diving down and getting stuck in the snow. And then as it comes round onto the toe side, this back leg is going to be pushing out, extending again through the turn, and that's when we're getting pressure through the board. So push off that back foot, front knee, front hip dives over the board, initiates that edge change onto the toe, back leg comes up and round, and then just start sinking down into your boots, relaxing into that toe side position. So obviously now the hips have come over the board as I've made the edge change on the toe side, looking across the slope, looking for that next turn. And I'll tell you what, I'm just going to pull the camera around here so I can show you that. I'll show you a couple more turns before I start talking to you through that Toeside turn. So have a look at these. And whilst we're doing that, I'll just talk to you quickly about the camera that I'm using. I'm of course filming with these Insta360 cameras. Right now I've got the Insta360 X5. This is the top of the range camera. And if you want the best image quality possible, this is the one to use. And this is also going to be the best camera if you've got anything less than kind of bluebird conditions. So today it's a bit grey, it's a bit cloudy. This camera with the larger sensor is just going to pick out a little bit more of those details. So for all of my runs that I was filming in what's called me mode. So I hold the camera out there on the selfie stick and it knows just to film back at me. I was filming at 60 frames a second, so I can slow the shots down like this. Right now, as I'm talking to you, I've got the camera in full 360 mode. It's recording everything, so I can literally give it a little whiz around. And then afterwards, when I'm editing, I just use the auto tracking feature to have it focused in on me. Really, really simple. Now, if you want to get yourself one of these cameras, I've got a link down below, and that link will also get you a free snow kit and possibly another discount, depending on when you actually buy the camera, what time of year it is, if it's soon or if it's far in the future. So yeah, check out that link if you want one of these cameras. They're really good. I use them in all my videos. I've been using them for a long time. Insta360 do sponsor me. And if you do go through that link, I get a little bit of commission through that affiliate link. Thank you very much. So now back to the video, and we just got on to the Toeside, okay? So we brought the board round onto the Toeside. Once again, I'm gonna be in a slightly more open position. Same reason as what I mentioned for the Heelside. By opening it up, it just allows me to kind of drive my hips into the slope a little bit more, and this kind of visual I'm looking for is having my shoulders once again parallel to the slope. Now, my Toeside is slightly different in these demos because I'm trying my best to hold the camera out on the stick. Normally I would probably have my front hand down here a little bit more. Okay, so just be wary of that. This would probably be more of an ideal position. Because of the heavy snow, my weight is drawn back slightly over my back foot. I just kind of pull my hips back over to be stacked above my back foot. That's just once again going to stop the nose of the board diving down into the snow. Make sure that board's traversing across the slope, and it's this really quick retraction that starts once again with kind of pushing off that back foot. For me to lift this back foot up, I first kind of push into it, push off it like that. Pushing off the back foot. Where I feel this happening is kind of the balls of my feet, kind of underneath my big toe on my back foot, push against that, leg comes up and round. So at this point, my upper body's kind of going into the fall line. This front knee is pulling the board round through the turn, but not much pressure through this front foot. Back leg comes round and then just sinking down progressively back onto that heel edge, using my legs to absorb all the bumps. So let's go through that one more time. Toe edge position, coming around like this. See where you want to make your turn, push against that back foot, and a quick whoop, suck up of that back leg up and out to pull me back round onto the heels, facing out across the slope in that direction, ready for my next one. So the main takeaway from this, it's that retraction turn movement, and I'll link a video on retraction turns and down on weighted turns down below if you want to give them a go. And the reason it's good to get this is essentially this is the same movement pattern that you would be doing in moguls as well. Just in moguls, rather than having to physically kind of suck the board up underneath you, you imagine this is a mogul and you're going over the top. As your legs go over the bump, it essentially pulls the board up towards you. And in the New Zealand system, I think they call this a terrain unweighted turn. And I really like that term. And if you've got lots of bumps, lots of moguls, I'll try and show you a clip where I kind of did it over more of a bump. You can see that rather than me having to physically pull the board up, the ground essentially pulls the board up towards me, and you make the edge change over the top of the bump. That means that as the board kind of drops away in that unweighted part of the turn, you're on the downside of the bump, and that only further helps this happen. And if you've got a really tightly stacked mogul field, that will also be the best place to do it, because it means you can then turn around the downside of the bump and you'll get that smooth path when the board is in the fall line. Before you kind of hit that next bump, you will have already finished your turn and have the board going across the slope. So this retraction movement, you can definitely practice it on the piste, and I would say I pretty much exclusively used that in these turns. I don't think I did any of these up unweighted turns, which would essentially have me in a tall position at the edge change. I'm still pushing against the board. I'm just pushing against it, sucking it up, which means I'm essentially having the board underneath me in this low position. at the edge change. Okay, so I hope I haven't confused the heck out of you with all these terms. It is quite confusing. If you think we want S-turns, first thing to get the S-turn is to have the board traversing across the slope. That's kind of ingredient number one. And then for this retraction turn, the reason we do it is just to allow your center of mass to take the smoothest path down the slope. Okay, so my upper body shouldn't be kind of getting knocked all over the place by all these bumps. It's trying to glide smoothly, and it's taking the shorter line, and it's more like the board is pushing out underneath my body like that, so I can kind of glide smoothly. I say smoothly because it's definitely not smooth through here, but as smooth as possible through these conditions. My gosh, I talked a lot then. Okay, so thank you very much for sticking with me to the end. I really appreciate it. I wanted to mention as well, I'm not at my usual home resort. That's on the other side of the valley over there. I'm at this tiny little resort called the Cold or None. You can get a day pass for 13 euros. It's just one steep T-bar up to the top there, and you get this kind of ungroomed, unpieced run. I like to come here on the weekends when my home resort is really busy, and it's a nice little escape from the crowds. So once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for all your comments. I try my best to reply to all of them, but I really do see kind of 99% of them. I see them coming through on my phone when I'm sat on the chairlift. I love reading through them. It gives me ideas for videos like this. So keep them coming. Really appreciate you guys. I know this video was a bit more nerdy. It wasn't as scripted as some of my stuff, so it definitely won't be going viral, that's for sure. But yeah, I really appreciate you watching to the end. And don't forget, if you want to pick up one of these cameras, these Insta360 cameras, that link is down below. That will get you that free snow kit if you get one. Okay, thank you as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.